When Mr. Courtwright comes in, he'll probably need help setting up his monitor and signing into his computer. I don't. You just go to assist him when he gets here. He's going to be late.
Okay, he knows his password and everything. Okay.
All right, 6 o'clock and call to order. Welcome to the Toltec School District number 22, the regular governing board meeting. We will first start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll all stand for the flag. Jim, could you start?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we're going to go the treasure hunter pledge. And I guess I'll start this. I am a treasure hunter. As an adult and treasure hunter, I am committed to service for all the talent, skills, and intelligence that exists in all children and youth. I believe all children are capable of success, no exceptions. Moment of silence. Started. Meeting. Everyone have a seat. Robert, would you please roll call?
Mark Wingren,
Here.
Steve Courtwright, Tim Kaysen,
Here.
Bill Doherty. Here. James Gray.
Here.
A quorum is present.
We're Sue, hold on just for a second. Sue.
Let the record reflect Mr. Courtwright arrived at 6:03.
Mountain Standard Time.
All right, now that we've had roll call, we will move on to the approval of the agenda. Opening the meeting B. Does anyone want to make a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Very good. Mr. Kaysen has moved to, made a motion. Do I get a second? I'll second. All right. And Jim Gray has made a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All against? Now we have to move on to approval of action item consent. A, consent agenda items, approval of action item consent items. Do I have a motion for that?
Move to approve all consent agenda items as presented.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Casey. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Gray has also seconded. We have a motion and a second. All in favor of approval of action item consent, say aye. Aye. All against? Consent? Passes. We now move on to information discussion items. And Mrs. Rogers can take control here.
The TES campus was closed today due to a water issue which resulted in the main water supply turned off or repairs were made. Those repairs were able to happen, so school will resume tomorrow. Board member James Gray and I attended the ASBA ASA annual conference on December 16th and 17th, and I will turn it over to Mr. Gray for any comments he has on this conference.
Well, I wish everybody could attend it. It was great. Very interesting. Some of the guest speakers were just fantastic. We had a guest speaker who is a noted actress, comedian, and she had us singing, she had us laughing, and her message was beautiful. She's from Puerto Rico, and she made a joke I'm going to share with you, and it's centered on her discussion and the knowledge she shared. But she said, here in America, people will actually take their dogs to the doctor. And she said, where I'm from, no, our parents don't even take their children to see a doctor. So that kind of explains this lady. And her message was really driven home, and it was driven home to me over 40 years ago. When I was first married, my wife had this fabulous idea. Let's sell soap. Everybody uses soap. So we signed up and we sold for Amway. They deal in soap to clean your floors, your ceilings, your walls, your carpet, your hair, your body. I mean, they make soap for everything. Amway has a story that they love to tell. It's about fleas, but it relates to humans. I heard this story over 40 years ago, and as she starts to talk about fleas, I'm going, why does this story about these fleas sound familiar? Well, basically, to really compress, because we have a full agenda tonight, a flea jumps so high. It's unbelievable how high a flea can jump. If you put a flea in a glass jar and put on a lid and watch that flea, what do you think he will do? He keeps wanting to jump as high as he can, and you can hear tink, tink. He's hitting the lid from the inside. But after several days, guess what this flea does? He doesn't jump that high. Okay. Aren't humans the same way? When you stop them from doing something consecutively for so many days, they stop. Well, her message is when you communicate to students, you have to let them jump. That was the core to her message. And she said, so often we simply fail to think before we speak. Okay. I want to guest speakers. We had several, and they were all dynamite. Now, being a new school board member, the second day truly influenced me to dedicate myself even harder than what I think I've been doing as a school board member. They gave us breakfast, but I had a special breakfast. I was in a room probably twice this size with all new school board members. And we got to share and discuss amongst ourselves problems our schools are having. And it's so common throughout the state of Arizona. And I've done some exploring since then, contacting old friends from other states during the school system. The problems are the same. And a lot of this based on COVID. It's a shame. Because my screen keeps going out. Also on the second day, something that was very interesting to me, dear fellow school board members, let's all go next year to this meeting. We will get to vote on new leaders. That was one of the things we did.
Could you speak up a little bit, please?
Yes, can you hear me? I'm assuming he can hear me.
Can you hear him, Bill?
Now I can.
Great, Bill. That was part of the two big shop, was voting on new individuals. Just gonna let you know who won the elections, 2 or 3. Individuals. This pamphlet I'm flipping through shows all the candidates. But what I thought was interesting, there were some criteria everyone had to meet when they ran for the state school board here in Arizona. Basically, they had to have spent at least 2 years at a local school, high school, grade school, junior high in the state of Arizona. That's basic requirements to run for an office for the state level. And they have to be currently serving this year, although we had the election. And James Bryce, I don't know if you can see his picture very well, but he's our new president. He won his election. I'm passing the candidates, some of the candidates. Desiree Fowler, she's our new, I think it's the secretary, recorder. And she has the same requirements. She's from up north in the state. She's Native American, Navajo. I got the chance of meeting and talking to her some, and she's one of these people that just don't stop. You know, we used to say like the ever-ready rabbit. Well, that was her, full of energy. And Jill Humphreys was elected, and same basic requirements. And I don't want to bore you too much, but I want to throw in one little tidbit that I don't think too many people would toss in, but it truly influenced me. Both days of our meeting, in the evening, they had what I would call a fair from salesmen, but some of the information they had about their products truly floored me. There's a company called Mind Research Institute who deals with computerized math programs for grade school age students. And being that I'm a board member for a grade school, I found this information unbelievable. And it's something that you would actually have to see. But it was just a simple game that our kids love to play, but it was a math game where they had to learn fractions almost immediately to even play the game. And I think they've had this game now 4 or 5 years actually now. I received some emails from the company, but that's fine. But that's all I wanted to share. I think. Really.
Thank you, Jim. It was a pleasure attending with you. There will be no school on Monday, February 21st. That's President's Day. And then the district-wide flooring project will resume on the Arizona City Elementary School campus during spring break, March 14th through March 24th, under the direction of project manager Mark Ferguson. COVID-19 cases continue to be in the high-risk category as reported by Pinal County Health Services. We ask that all students and employees continue to be vigilant in health sanitary precautions for the benefit of all staff, students, and our community. The OSHA's COVID-19 vaccination and testing mandate has been stayed by the United States Supreme Court, and so no action is required at this time. January is School Board Recognition Month. I just learned this, and I've been in this office for a while. I even shared it with Veronica and said, did you know? She said, no. I said, well, I just found that out. So I have a token of appreciation to present to our distinguished board members.
Nice prize.
But now that I know. Mr. Lindgren.
Ooh, look at that. There you go.
You can reassign to us.
Bad. Oh, skip that. I didn't mean to do that.
Mr. Cartwright.
Thank you.
We appreciate, I don't know if you know, but all board members, this is voluntarily, they volunteer for the headaches they get. They don't get anything in return. You are welcome. But it's an elected position. There is no paycheck to help with all of the hours and dedication. So I'm going to say thank you. You're welcome. Okay. Stand up, put them on, see if they fit. We'll take a quick picture. And stand by the flag, and Mrs. Ferguson will take a picture. Bill, you'll get yours later. Nice.
I think they do.
Arms. Knitting pearl.
Yeah, I'm getting curled. Maybe I'm tagging up your hat.
Stand by the flag.
Not allowed to play. There we go. Yeah, look at that one. I think I'm presentable now. Very nice.
Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, they're on that now.
Thank you for serving me in the Toltec School District. And that is all, Mr. Lindgren.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I got stunned there all of a sudden. Now I forgot where I was.
Just
Okay.
Bob, you did.
Okay, here we go. We're still in information discussion items. There would be B, there should be the finance reports, which I surrender unto you.
Thank you. Within your board packets, there are two reports. One being a budget report, which is an expenditure report. It is a year-to-date report that you saw last month. It is just extended to include the month of January. So every month, I will just provide this so that you're just aware of what our year-to-date expenditures are, broken down by account descriptions. You may start to see negative amounts in the budget balance column, which don't be alarmed. All that means is that when we wrote the budget revision in December, we just didn't put enough money within that line item. So we are going to do a May revision where if we need to move from one item, we have excess budget, it'll just go to cover our expenses as the year goes on. And two, you also have for 610, so that's the one that I was talking about that has a negative balance. You see that on the revision, we didn't put any money into that line item for property services. It's a negative balance of $23,000. So again, it's nothing to be alarmed at this point. It just means that it lets us know that when it comes to revision, that there's something that we need to adjust in those line items. Any questions on that report? And then I also included some budget reports that come from the state. It's a budget 25 and a budget 75 report. And all these are our reconciliation reports. So the state every month will take our student data from the AZ system and they will put it into the budget forms and they will update our budget amounts. And so what these reports tell us is whether we're under budgeted or over budgeted for our balances. And I'm happy to report that based on these calculations for the January reports, because it is a month behind, there's a lag, we're going to add $87,000 to our M&O budget. So that's always a nice thing to do. However, these numbers will fluctuate until our 100th day of school, which I believe is February 22nd. So because we use current numbers, student numbers, these numbers will continue to change until our finalized student numbers are set for the year. So again, 87,000, I know it's not too much compared to a 6 point whatever our entire budget is, but hey, it's money that we're getting instead of money they're taking. So yeah, exactly. But were there any other questions on either of those reports?
No, well done. Thank you so much for
You're welcome.
having this information out for us. Self-explanatory.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Just get back to where I was. So next up, we have a call to the public. So we have a call to the public. So I do usually read this part. I think you know it already, so I have to read it.
Thank you. Board President, Superintendent Rogers, and board members, again, thank you for your time and your consideration on the agenda item we asked you to consider for the meeting today. It's the next item on your agenda, as a matter of fact. And it's important to us, and we brought some of the people who wanted to come. We had quite a few more, but because of the confusion from last time, we tried to be consideration of you guys and just keep it here and keep it small. But we thank you again for considering our item, and we look forward to being able to. I believe they gave you a piece of paper with a font on it of what we would hope to put on the cafeteria and gymnasium walls and the offices. That's the font that we would like to do. We'd probably do it in 12-inch letters, so you kind of have an idea. That way it would be pretty much legible anywhere in the building. And so that's what we're presenting to the board tonight, to be able to. The gold letters would be God, and then the black letters would be in riches as we put that together. And we would take care of production of it and installation and everything else at the convenience of this job. So thank you again for your consideration.
Very good. Now we move on to action items. And looky there, that's the state model sponsor. And as I look at this, the state motto is Deus Dies, which means God enriches. And I thought it was going to be Deus Dies. Not God enriches. That's why, because that was the state motto. So it's not that I have an issue with you having that up there at all. As a matter of fact, I haven't had an issue at all myself. But like I said, I still thought it was because that's the actual state motto. If I misinferred what you had intended to do, I apologize. That's what I meant. Steve, do you have any comment on this?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
The statute says you may put up a copy of the state seal, which is a map. Not an English.
And that's what that's why I had thought.
That's what I thought we were voting on.
Yeah.
And actually, there are many Christian religions that would translate Zeus as Jehovah or possibly Allah or some other title. So I don't think it's exactly appropriate because the law did say we can put up a copy of the state seal, not a translation.
And I mean, that's what I believe to be true. How about you, Richard?
Well, first I want to thank Dennis and everyone for coming out. Thank you for your support in our community and everything. Really appreciate it. Now, I like their idea. I don't see an issue with it. I mean, if there's some kind of legal problem that's going to happen because it's not exactly, you know, as the motto is presented. I don't know, but I'm fine with this myself.
Thank you for coming. I love each and every one of you for what you stand. I'm a believer in Christ. I've done so much reading since the last time I was at the school board meeting. And I have to state, I like what you offer immensely, but I have concerns. It's like opening a door and everyone can walk in and request their religion as well. And I truly believe that's what we're seeing what our government has attempted to do. And it works very well. They don't open that door and say, everybody come in. They don't want to hurt feelings. They don't want people to feel like they're being oppressed in one direction or another. You know, and these words are hard for me to share because of how I feel. But I also look at the students. That's my first job. And they're allowed to come in with their crosses. They can wear necklaces, jewelry. So I don't think we're oppressing them. You know, they can sit there and if they, you know, have been taught to say a prayer before they eat, they're allowed to. They can do it at breakfast, they can do it after lunch, they can do it at a picnic. And I truly wish all of them were taught to do so. I have to go against it. I'm so sorry to say that. I know. I feel that way too. I don't like it personally, but speaking as a school board member, I have to look at children. And I don't want any child to go home and say to their parents, why isn't our church there? Why do I have to participate in this? Why do I have to see it every day? I know it breaks my heart, it does, but I have to look at the students as a whole. I have to. This is an issue, you know. I don't know, but I have to say I have to go against it. I'm so sorry.
Well, there's another aspect of this too.
Denise, I'd like to raise a question.
Go ahead.
Could we make it a little clearer, what Dennis is asking for, the verbiage versus what the law there says?
I'm sorry, he printed out a paper that I showed the board. It says God enriches. The verbiage, God enriches.
Which is the English translation of the Latin, right?
The English translation of Deus Deus.
Latin.
That's in Latin.
I would have to take exception with whoever said that it could also be interpreted as, Muhammad or whoever. This is Latin, what's the Catholic Church.
That's what it's saying.
That's what it says. You can interpret it all you want, but that is what it was meant to be and say. So I guess I don't see what the difference is between putting it up there in Latin or putting it up in English.
Well, simply because it's the state seal. And we're allowed to put the state seal up in the school, but I don't know if we're allowed to put God enriches in the school.
You read the statute on your board.
Which is the. Which is
Allowed to do what?
The state. The state says we can put, it says right here, in the number 10, it says the state motto, Deus, which means God enriches. You can put that up, but it didn't say you can put God enriches. It just says which means. That's the only reason I have any issue at all with it. I have no issue with it. It's just that Deus is what the state motto says. And if you had Deus and you put the state motto up there, no problem. I don't think anybody on the board would suggest there would be anything wrong with that.
And that's been addressable.
Yes, you should.
And also in that same list, it has in God we trust. So we would just prefer then that if you have an issue, if the board has an issue with the state motto, we would just change that over to in God we trust. Okay, your request. It's in that list. I believe it's number 2.
Number
Well, don't think I wasn't looking, Dennis.
National.
It's the national model, not the state model. We were looking at the national model. We weren't looking at the national model. We were looking at the state model. And I can, if you, to look and see if we'd have a discussion on this. Now, what's the discussion on this one? Do you want to change it? And if he wants to change it, it's a national model. We can do that. God we trust.
It states right in there, it's approvable.
Yep.
Right.
Yes.
As written, in God we trust.
And I just want everybody's opinion on it. You know, I just want to run it until everybody, because I don't want to steal anybody's time, you know. And like I said, my only problem with the one was that it just said that you had to put that because that's a state seal and it's in Latin. This is in God we trust.
Well, I don't have a problem with that.
I would prefer the national motto on God we trust.
Very good. What do you think? Yeah.
I would go with this, but I would like to have this held till next meeting. That would only give people give us the time to actually, each of us take the time to read the statutes. just to make sure we're okay.
Could you repeat that again?
You just want to hold off until the next meeting? You want to hold off till the next meeting, so that we could all look at the statutes, make sure what they are. Right now, none of us see much difficulty, but we just want to check it out and make sure, is what he was saying. Is what Jim was saying.
Well, I think just as a final comment from me, I think Jim had a point earlier that as a school board member, I think that as a school board members, we do need to make a stand at one place or another. We cannot be so concerned that someone, somewhere, some one person might be affected.
No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about whether it's in the laws, it's in the statute. We're not trying to take away the thunder. I don't see where it's not in the statute, but if you want to hold off for a month and then we'll look into it even closer, I don't see why it wouldn't be. I don't have an issue with it right now, but as a possible precaution, what Jim was bringing up, and Mr. Gray was bringing up, is that he wanted to hold it off until for a little bit longer. Now, does everybody? Go ahead.
Perhaps it would be wise to seek the counsel of the county attorney on this issue.
If just all makes
I can
sense.
do that.
Just, yeah.
Yeah,
Superintendents can reach out to the county attorney free of charge.
I don't think there's a problem with the guy in trust. We could, it's commonly accepted.
No, yeah.
It's on us.
And it's on here on the statement. And, but just reach out. Just reach out. I'm thinking that, and I actually don't want to hold you back. I'm sorry about that. But we will, if we can just go ahead and.
Well, if we're gonna go there, ask them about the other one.
Yeah, we can do that. Too, right? Yeah, we can do that too.
But
I like that.
there's another issue too, and that it has to do with Title I funding. Because if your school is seen to be promoting a particular religion, it can affect whether or not you're eligible for Title I funding, which is generally in a school like this about 10 to 12% of the budget.
Yeah.
And that comes strictly from the feds, so that would be their call on that.
And that's why I'm thinking
So the county advice from the county attorney, I think would be probably the best way to go.
and so if we want to hold off on this one, till and research both the county attorney and bring it back up again next meeting.
I agree.
Just so we're going to use funding, just so that we're looking at everything correctly. Like I said, I don't see any problem with it. Not on my part, not on the rest of my guys. We just gotta make sure we're covered and the children are covered. And the reason we're all here and why this, we're here for the kids to make sure we got the funding for the kids to take care of our children. And that's why I'm always here, me. But, like I said, I don't think there'll be any problem with that. And if we don't mind, see you again next month on this issue. Again, all right? And we'll just pull this one.
I can't say, all right, you guys have to make a motion.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know. But like I'm saying, I'm talking like this. Okay.
Yeah, because we will be at.
Really, Janet?
We want you back.
So,
Already.
okay, so anyway, I just want you to know where we're coming from and why we're doing what we're doing. Okay, does anybody want to make it to, hold off on this until hold off on the state model sponsor until next meeting? As a matter of fact, I'll make a motion. We'll hold up the state sponsored motto, either in God We Trust or Dios or God and Riches until next meeting. Anybody want to make a second?
I'll second.
Okay. We have a second from Jim Gray. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All against? Passes. Huh?
May we be excused?
I was just gonna say that. I'm looking here. Now, if you guys want to, yeah, go. And I will see you guys here next week.
No,
Okay?
it's like 2 weeks, right?
It's gotta be discussed at the end of the
It's gonna be
meeting. I can
discussed.
text you.
Okay, all right.
You'll find out.
Okay.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you, everybody.
We appreciate it.
Good night.
Thank you guys. Good night.
Good night.
Moving on to action item B, classification hourly pay schedule revision.
Minimum wage increases were approved in alignment with the statewide rate of $12.80 an hour as of January 1st, 2022, during the previous board meeting. This change is reflected in the revised 2021-2022 classified hourly pay schedule. Please note that other starting pay rates have been adjusted to accommodate gaps between positions as fairly as possible. Not all positions were able to be raised by 65 cents, but we tried to do it as fairly as we could, possibly that would be affordable. As budgetarily feasible, we will take a closer look at positional appropriate pay rates when next year's schedule is ready for adoption. But this pay schedule is just showing you, putting you to $12.15 up to $12.80, and then the other entry rates and fixing it as to accompany the minimum wage increase.
Any discussion on this one? Because I don't have anything to say because I already know I've kind of looked through it. And we're just trying to do it as evenly and correctly and budgetarily as possible for everybody concerned.
So is this telling us that everybody who is in X position for a period of time, they'll all be getting that same 40 cents or $1 or whatever that is?
This is the salary schedule. So salary schedule, I think you're referring to the next agenda item. This is adoption of the salary schedule, which changes all of the minimum wage salaries from $12.15 to $12.80, and then those salaries, starting salaries that are 15 or so, were updated as well, but not every salary was updated by an increase of 65 cents, such as the $12.15 per hour were.
Thank you for clarifying that.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Information? Does anybody want to make a motion at this time? The classified hourly pay schedule revision.
I motion we approve the 2021-22 classified hourly pay schedule revision.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Mr. Court, we had a motion by Mr. Kaysen and a second by Mr. Courtwright. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All against? Motion passes. Now we move on to, I think, what he was talking about earlier. Moving on to the C, the classified hourly employee rate increases.
With the minimum wage increase from $12.15 to $12.80 on January 1st, 2022, many of our tenured employees are earning close to the same pay as newly hired personnel. In many cases, it was the same exact pay. The revised classified hourly pay schedule, which was the action item you just approved, addresses the pay rates more appropriately. The attached document lists employees proposed for necessary salary corrections, including newly hired personnel as fitting to positions and the salary schedule. Tenured employees were given credit for years of employment in an effort to support and reward longevity. If an employee is not on the list, he or she is already earning a competitive salary or earning above what they would be making as per their years on the salary schedule that you just adopted. An example would be when an experienced employee is administrative awarded steps on the salary schedule when hired. So they might already be making more than what that step would be ordinarily. Upon governing board approval, the proposed hourly pay corrections will become effective tomorrow, February 1st, 2022.
All right. Anyone, wish to discuss it?
No, it's just the right thing to do, ain't
But yeah, if you're gonna give people a raise, you can't have them all having the same thing as people, tenured people.
Right.
Tenured for a lengthy period of time, that goes without saying. I mean, it's, you have to take care of your people. If you don't show them that, you know, you care about them, why would they want to stay? And we obviously do care about everybody in this tenure, so we'll try to make the best we can. So, do I get a motion for classified hourly employee rate increases?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Mr. Gray has made a motion for classified hourly employee rate increases. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Corbett has made a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All against? Motion passes. The next one is, kind of interesting. We have a reversal of the Toltec Elementary School teacher resignation. Remember, we had this, Mrs. Davis, was going to resign, and we're going to hold her responsible for the 2,000 liquidated damages for her contract. But since she's not leaving, we have to reverse that.
So the
So
new one.
that's, it's a first.
I haven't seen that.
Okay, this is the difference. This is different. So, I'm sure we're all in favor of reversing it. She's staying, she's not leaving, she's not breaking the contract. We obviously are going to stay, obviously we stay out, so. All I need is actually a motion, to approve the reversal of the Toltec Elementary School teacher resignation, Miss Davis's resignation, and, Ms. Effie. Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Mr. Gregg has made a motion for reversal of Toltec Elementary School teacher resignation, Tom Davis. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Corbett has made a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All against? Motion passes. As we move on, we now have a Arizona State Elementary School emergency teacher resignation. So. And I am, does anybody have anything they wish to add? I'm asking for 2,000 liquidated damages. Because she's leaving in the middle of the year. And I'm hoping everybody looks at it the same way I do. I've read this already, so I'm up to date on the reasoning why she's leaving, and it, as far as I can see, it constitutes the liquidated damages.
Yeah.
So.
I agree.
Any other statements? Anybody else want to talk about it? Or is it, I think it's just straightforward.
Yeah.
Does anyone wish to make a motion?
I'll move that we, assess liquidated damages.
Or Mr. Corbett has made a motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, Mr. Casey has made a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All against? Motion passes. And then all we have to do now is set the next meeting. So what are we looking at here? What are we looking at?
Let's take our usual second Monday, right? Is Valentine's.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
You guys have sweethearts?
How could you even ask?
I know. I know. So
Well, between my wife and my daughter, are you kidding?
But the main problem with it being on the 14th is that there's, I have a sweetheart too, that he would excuse me from the meeting. But the main part is that there's only 1 week off before
Right.
even today. So
That's
it's,
another.
yeah.
So,
And we had to reschedule this meeting twice, so it pushed us to the end of the month. We didn't even know we were gonna get it in this month.
It was such a go. It was so touch and go. Yeah, so,
And then, the 21st is President's Day.
Right.
Yes.
so we're looking at the 28th. We just pushed all the way to the end again.
And that provides 1 month spend time. And then if you look at March coming up, March 14th, the second Monday in March, falls in spring break.
Spring break.
So then if we also push it to March 28th, oh, I was like, my phone's ringing, it's Bill. Bill, we lost you?
Here now.
All right, thank you for calling back. All right, so if February is the 28th, then that provides 1 month spend of time. The meeting falling within spring break, it just presents a problem of making the meeting accessible to employees, being able to go on, take the time off, go on vacation, not worry about it, and then also getting the reports I need and everything. But March 14th falls within spring break. Monday, March 28th is 1 month span of time from the February meeting if we, and we'll have to get back on track, so.
Well, we knew we were gonna run into this stuff because of the things we've all discussed this already. We knew we were gonna run into it. And for me, 28th is fine, 28th is fine, and no February. No
28th of,
February,
is that
yes, last day in February.
Does that work for you, Mr. Dorsey?
what is it for?
Board meeting?
Oh, sure, I guess.
Okay,
Excellent.
Last day of February, you said?
so it's Monday, February 28th. I think it is the last Monday in February. Well, it have to be.
Yeah.
Without even looking at the calendar.
That's a lot.
So, okay.
Yes, that is okay by me.
All right, everybody else got the okey dokey on that one? All right, then, if we're all okay with that, all I need is someone's motion for adjournment.
I move that we adjourn.
All right, Mr. Corbat has moved, we adjourn the meeting, go have a second.
Second.
Mr. Casey has made a second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All against? We're adjourned. Thank you so much, gentlemen, and take care of yourself, Bill.
Yes.
Thank you. I did get a cleaner bill of health, just recently, this afternoon from my doctor, so hopefully next time I'll be there, Brett, I wish you deal.
Sounds great.
Very good, Bill. See you then.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.